Welcome to our deep dive today.
Oh,
We're going to be exploring Batrachotoxin,
uh,
the poison dart frog's fatal secret. This chemical is so potent
right.
that it can cause paralysis with just a touch.
Wow.
We'll uncover its intriguing history.
Okay.
We'll delve into its complex structure
All right.
and discover how this deadly toxin
Okay.
is surprisingly useful in scientific research.
It's fascinating
Yeah.
how something so dangerous can also be so valuable to science.
It's like a real-life Jekyll and Hyde scenario.
Yeah.
So let's start with the basics.
Sure.
Batrachotoxin, where does it come from
Yeah.
and what makes it so deadly?
Batrachotoxin is a steroidal alkaloid
Okay.
produced by certain poison dart frogs, particularly the golden poison frog,
Okay.
Phyllobates terribilis.
Gotcha.
And what makes it so potent is its ability to disrupt nerve function.
Okay, hold on.
Yeah.
A steroidal alkaloid?
Uh-huh.
I know steroids are like hormones,
Right.
but alkaloids?
Yeah.
Can you break that down for me?
Of course.
Yeah.
Alkaloids are a diverse group of organic compounds that contain nitrogen
Okay.
and are often found in plants.
Okay.
They're known for their potent biological activity.
Gotcha.
Think of caffeine,
Right.
nicotine,
Uh-huh.
and morphine.
Mhm.
They're all alkaloids.
Interesting.
Batrachotoxin, being a steroidal alkaloid,
Yeah?
means it combines structural features of both steroids and alkaloids,
Mhm.
making it a unique and complex molecule.
So it's like this potent chemical cocktail
Right.
with a very specific structure.
Exactly.
And this structure is what makes it so effective at disrupting nerves.
Exactly.
Hmm.
Imagine your nerve cells have these tiny gateways called sodium channels
Okay.
that control the flow of electrical signals.
Got it.
Batrachotoxin acts like a wedge,
Okay.
forcing these channels to stay open constantly.
So instead of a controlled flow of signals,
Yeah.
it's just constant chaos.
Precisely. This constant influx of sodium disrupts the delicate balance of nerve impulses, leading to paralysis. It's like a dam breaking.
Okay.
The flood of sodium overwhelms the system.
That's a powerful image.
Yeah.
And indigenous cultures have known about and used this toxin for centuries, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
They used it for hunting and warfare,
Uh-huh.
applying it to blowgun darts.
Wow.
There's evidence suggesting they had specific techniques for extracting and handling the toxin safely.
It's amazing how these cultures develop such sophisticated methods
Right?
for harnessing such a dangerous substance.
Yeah.
Speaking of dangerous,
Yeah.
how much batrachotoxin is needed to cause serious damage?
A tiny amount can be fatal.
Oh, wow.
The golden poison frog has enough batrachotoxin in its skin to kill multiple adult humans.
That's incredible.
Yeah,
You wouldn't think such a small creature could pack such a deadly punch.
I know.
It seems almost counterintuitive
Yeah.
that something so toxic could also have scientific value.
It might seem paradoxical,
Yeah.
but that's often the case in science.
Right.
Batrachotoxin's unique ability to target sodium channels
Uh-huh.
makes it an invaluable tool for researchers.
Okay.
It helps us understand how these channels work
Gosh.
and how they can be manipulated.
So by studying this disruption,
Yes,
we can better understand normal nerve function.
precisely.
Right.
By observing how batrachotoxin affects nerve cells,
Yeah.
we can glean insights into the intricate workings of the nervous system.
Right.
It's like using a high-powered microscope
Got
to
it.
zoom in on a specific cellular process.
That's fascinating.
Yeah,
So this deadly toxin is actually helping us unlock secrets about the nervous system.
absolutely.
Wow.
It's a perfect example of how nature's deadliest creations can sometimes hold the key to unlocking life-saving treatments.
It really makes you wonder what other secrets are hidden within the natural world.
There's a whole universe of chemical wonders out there
Right.
waiting to be discovered. And sometimes
Yeah.
the most dangerous ones hold the greatest potential for scientific breakthroughs.
Okay. I am definitely intrigued.
Great.
We'll be right back after a short break to delve deeper into the world of fascinating chemical compounds.
Okay.
Stay tuned.
Sounds good. Welcome back to our deep dive into the fascinating world of batrachotoxin.
So we've learned about the deadly effects of batrachotoxin
Yeah.
and how it targets sodium channels in the nervous system.
Right.
I'm curious, are there any other chemicals that have a similar mechanism of action,
Uh-huh.
but maybe aren't quite as well lethal?
That's a great question.
Thanks.
There are indeed other chemicals that interact with sodium channels, but
That's
their
right.
effects can vary widely, depending on their structure and how they bind to the channel.
Okay, so it's not just about whether a chemical opens or closes the channel,
Right.
but how it does it.
Exactly.
Okay,
Some chemicals might only partially block the channel,
gotcha.
while others might modify its sensitivity to different stimuli.
Interesting.
For example, certain local anesthetics
Uh-huh.
work by temporarily blocking sodium channels,
Okay.
preventing pain signals from reaching the brain.
So it's like a dimmer switch for nerve signals.
Yeah.
Instead of a complete on-off switch like batrachotoxin.
That's a great way to put it.
Thanks.
And researchers are constantly exploring these subtle differences in how chemicals interact with sodium channels to develop new drugs for a variety of conditions.
So batrachotoxin, despite its toxicity,
Right.
is actually providing a blueprint for potential therapeutic agents.
Precisely.
Wow.
By understanding how batrachotoxin binds to and affects sodium channels, scientists can design molecules that target these channels in a more controlled and beneficial way.
Right.
This could lead to new treatments for pain, epilepsy, and even heart conditions.
It's amazing to think that this deadly toxin could pave the way for life-saving medications.
I know, right?
It really highlights the importance of studying even the most dangerous substances in nature.
Absolutely every chemical,
Yeah.
no matter how toxic,
Mm-hmm.
has the potential to teach us something valuable.
That's a good point.
It's all about understanding their properties
Right.
and how they interact with biological systems.
Now, thinking about the structure of batrachotoxin
Yeah.
and how it interacts with those sodium channels,
Uh-huh.
it makes me wonder about other complex molecules
Right.
and their unique properties.
Sure.
I mean, we've touched on alkaloids already.
Yes,
Are there other examples out there that might surprise us?
definitely.
Like what?
The world of chemistry is full of surprises.
Okay.
Take gallium, for example.
Okay.
It's a metal,
Uh-huh.
but unlike most metals, it has an incredibly low melting point,
Really?
just slightly above room temperature.
Wait, so you're saying this metal can melt in your hand?
Yeah?
That sounds almost magical.
It is quite remarkable.
Wow.
If you hold a piece of gallium in your hand,
Yeah.
the heat from your body is enough to turn it from a solid to a liquid.
That's wild. What causes it to melt so easily?
Well,
Is it something about its structure?
you got it.
Okay.
It all comes down to the arrangement of atoms and the strength of the bonds between them.
Okay.
In gallium, the bonds between atoms are relatively weak,
Gotcha.
allowing them to break apart and transition to a liquid state at lower temperatures.
So it's like the atoms are holding hands loosely,
Yeah,
and it doesn't take much to break them apart.
exactly. And this unique property gives gallium some interesting applications.
Like what?
For example, it's used in some types of thermometers
Uh-huh.
because it expands when it heats up,
Okay.
allowing for precise temperature measurements.
So this metal that can melt in your hand is also helping us monitor temperatures in various applications.
Yes,
That's a pretty impressive range.
it is.
Wow.
And gallium's properties also make it valuable in the electronics industry.
Oh, really?
It's used in semiconductors, LEDs, and even in solar cells.
Wow, from melting in your hand to powering our devices.
Right.
Gallium is quite the multitasker.
It is.
It makes me think about how the arrangement of atoms
Yeah.
can have such a dramatic effect on a substance's properties.
It's a fundamental principle of chemistry.
Right.
And speaking of atomic arrangement,
Yeah.
let's talk about carbon,
Okay.
an element that's essential to life,
Mm-hmm.
but also exists in some incredibly diverse forms.
Carbon, I know it's found in everything from living organisms to fossil fuels.
Right.
But what makes it so special in terms of its atomic arrangement?
Well, here's the fascinating part.
Okay.
Carbon can exist in completely different forms,
Uh-huh.
depending on how its atoms are bonded together.
Okay.
On one hand, you have diamond,
Right.
the hardest naturally occurring substance known to man.
Yeah.
It's prized for its brilliance and durability,
Hmm.
used in everything from jewelry to industrial cutting tools.
Diamonds are definitely something special,
They are.
especially when you consider their value
Yeah,
and how they're formed under immense pressure deep within the earth.
exact. But here's the twist.
Okay.
Diamond and graphite,
Uh-huh.
the material used in pencil lead,
Right.
are both made of pure carbon.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
You're telling me that the hardest substance in the world
Uh-huh.
and something I can use to write on a piece of paper
Yep.
are both made of the same element?
That's right.
How is that even possible?
It all boils down to how the carbon atoms are arranged and bonded together.
Okay.
In diamond, the atoms are arranged in a tightly packed, three-dimensional lattice structure,
Hmm.
giving it incredible strength and hardness.
Gotcha.
In graphite, The atoms are arranged in flat sheets that can easily slide past each other, which is why it's so soft and slippery.
So it's like the difference between a brick wall and a stack of papers.
Exactly.
The same building blocks with completely different structures and properties.
Precisely.
Wow.
And this remarkable duality of carbon exemplifies the power of chemical bonding.
Yeah.
Just a slight change in how atoms are connected can lead to vastly different materials.
That's mind-blowing.
It is.
And it brings us back to batrachotoxin.
Right.
And how its unique structure allows it to interact so precisely with sodium channels.
Exactly.
It seems like a recurring theme in chemistry.
It is.
Structure dictates function.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Understanding the structure of a molecule is crucial to understanding its properties and how it will behave in different situations.
Right.
Whether it's a deadly toxin like batrachotoxin or a seemingly simple substance like carbon, the arrangement of atoms ultimately determines its fate and its impact on the world around us.
This has been an incredible journey so far.
It has.
Exploring the complexities of batrachotoxin and the surprising properties of seemingly simple chemicals.
Yeah.
I'm already looking forward to uncovering more hidden wonders in the world of chemistry.
Me too.
Welcome back to the show. It's amazing how much we've learned about batrachotoxin.
Right.
And its impact on the nervous system, but also how its study has opened doors to understanding other fascinating molecules, like gallium and carbon.
It really is.
I'm curious, thinking about these connections and unexpected paths you mentioned. Does the research on batrachotoxin have any implications for our understanding of conditions, like chronic pain or paralysis?
That's a great question.
Okay.
And one that researchers are actively exploring.
Okay.
As we discussed, batrachotoxin disrupts nerve function by forcing sodium channels to stay open.
Right.
This leads to a constant influx of sodium ions, disrupting the delicate balance of nerve impulses and ultimately causing paralysis.
So how could studying this process potentially help treat conditions like paralysis?
Well, by understanding exactly how batrachotoxin interacts with sodium channels, scientists can potentially develop drugs that target those channels in a more controlled and therapeutic way.
Okay.
Imagine a drug that could selectively block or modulate sodium channels in specific areas of the body.
So instead of causing complete paralysis like batrachotoxin, it could potentially help restore nerve function in areas affected by paralysis.
That's the idea.
Wow.
It's a complex challenge. But understanding the mechanism of batrachotoxin provides a valuable starting point for developing such therapies.
That's incredible.
It is.
It's like turning a deadly weapon into a healing tool.
Exactly.
And speaking of healing tools, I've heard that there are some venomous creatures whose toxins are being studied for their potential medical benefits.
You're absolutely right.
Okay.
There's a whole field of research called toxinology
that
focuses on studying the venoms and toxins produced by animals like snakes, spiders, scorpions, and even some marine creatures.
That sounds both fascinating and a bit terrifying.
Yeah, it is.
What kind of medical applications are we talking about?
Possibilities are quite diverse. Researchers are exploring the use of venom-derived compounds for treating conditions like chronic pain, heart disease, cancer, and even autoimmune disorders.
So these toxins that can cause so much harm in nature could actually hold the key to treating some of humanity's most challenging medical conditions.
It's a testament to nature's ingenuity.
Yeah.
And the power of scientific exploration. By studying these toxins and understanding their mechanisms of action, we can potentially harness their power for good, turning them from agents of harm into agents of healing.
It's truly remarkable how something so seemingly dangerous can also be so beneficial.
It is.
It makes you realize that there's so much we still don't know about the natural world and the potential it holds for both good and bad.
Absolutely.
Well, on that note, it seems our deep dive into the world of batrachotoxin and the fascinating world of chemical compounds has come to an end for today.
Yeah.
But I have a feeling this is just the beginning of our exploration.
I agree. This deep dive has given us a glimpse into the incredible complexity and diversity of the chemical world.
For sure.
There's always more to learn and new discoveries to be made.
So to all our listeners out there, keep your curiosity alive.
Yes.
And never stop exploring the world around you.
Keep on learning.
Who knows what amazing secrets you might uncover?
Exactly.
Until next time, deep divers keep asking questions, and remember,
yes,
the most fascinating discoveries are often hidden in the most unexpected places.
absolutely.